This week on the UB Football Insider Show, we'll look back at the Bulls' dominating win over Kent State. We'll have our top 5 plays. We'll preview Wednesday's trip to Ohio, where the Bulls have the chance to clinch the MAC East title. Plus, we'll introduce you to one of the top freshman running backs in the country. It's the UB Football Insider Show, and it's time to kick it off.
Midweek action once again. Tonight's opponent, the Kent State Golden Flashes.
Let's do it, let's do it. About that time.
You've got some of the greatest players to ever play here.
These guys are the most talented senior class we've ever had.
Do it for your brother! Yeah. Do it for your brother! It's senior night! I love y'all boys! Now we're gonna play our hearts out and do it for each other! Family on two, family on two! 1, 2, family!
Second down, quick handoff, Patterson got a hole, and now he's in the open at the 50, at the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, bullseye!
Jared Patterson!
What a way to start a tough weather condition game. Tries for the goal line, touchdown! Rush is coming off the edges, throws it short, crossing pattern, but waiting for the receiver was Otwanowski.
Well, Osborne just working the seam, and it's a great job by Tyree Jackson stepping up in the pocket. And like you said, that's a frozen rope right into the stomach of Osborne.
Hands the ball to Marks. Marks dives ahead, drives ahead, touchdown! From read option, confusion in the backfield, and the Bulls bury the running back. Read option, handoff, Patterson, up the hole, up the middle, in the end zone, bullseye! The Bulls go to 9-1 for the first time ever.
Start to finish, total domination.
When we get a time, it's time! Not only did we make history tonight, but we get to live tomorrow! Here we go! Let's go!
Welcome to the UB Football Insider Show. From here inside the Bulls team room, we're talking about Buffalo's big 48-14 win over Kent State on Tuesday night. I'm Paul Peck with radio color analyst Scott Wilson. Scott, when the winds are blowing 40 miles an hour, you better have your defense ready to play, and you better get your running game going, and the Bulls did that right off the bat.
Big time. Both sides of the ball really showed up. The defense smothering. They only allowed 34 yards total offense to Kent State through 3 quarters. This game was over early. It was the running game, like you said. Jarrett Patterson, second play from scrimmage, right to the house. An easy run for him, and boy, they made a big statement early on and just kind of put it away early.
So the Bulls are 9-1, 6-0 in the MAC. First time they're ever 6-0 in the MAC. First time they've ever gotten to 9 wins in a season, and it all heads towards Wednesday night's showdown in Athens, Ohio, against the Bobcats in a game that will decide the MAC East champion.
It does not get any bigger than this. The Bulls going on the road against a MAC East rival, a place where the Bulls have struggled historically, but this is not your average Buffalo team in any way, shape, or form.
So that's just 2 days away. The Bulls Wednesday night in Athens, Ohio against the Bobcats, a 7 o'clock kickoff that you can hear on ESPN 1520, or you can see it on ESPN2.
It's time now for the top 5 plays of the week, presented by ECMC. The difference between healthcare and true care. Number 5.
Read option, handoff, Patterson, up the hole, up the middle, in the end zone, bullseye! Jarrett Patterson's second touchdown of the game, a 21-yard run.
Jarrett Patterson is a madman on the loose.
Number 4.
Shotgun snap, Tyree, read option, handoff to Emmanuel Reed up the middle, 20, 15, 10, 5 down to the 2.
Reed made a move at the line of scrimmage to set up a block and then just exploded up the middle.
Number 3.
First and 10 for the Bulls from the 11-yard line. Handoff, Theo Anderson up the middle, Buffalo touchdown. Everybody's in on the parade.
You get a rushing touchdown. You get a rushing touchdown. You get a rushing. Everybody gets rushing touchdowns today.
Number 2.
Barrett, deep drop in the pocket, moving around, sacked. Sacked by Justin Brandon, his second of the season.
The big man comes through and gets a hold of Woody Barrett's leg and rips him down. Barrett usually able to get away from those types of tackles, but Brandon just too strong.
Number 1.
Second down, quick handoff, Patterson got a hole, and now he's in the open at the 50, at the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, bullseye! Jarrett Patterson for a Buffalo touchdown.
Patterson gets to the second level and shows him the taillights and goes the rest of the way.
Congratulations, fellas. Awful proud of you. 9 wins. Best start most in school history as an FBS player. You know, to our seniors, that's a heck of a way to go out on a senior night. Guys, when you want to be a consistent winning program, you've got to go out and have dominating performances when the opportunity presents itself. When you get a chance that you're getting close to a championship, you got to have a hunger for it. You got to have a hunger. And I know the season's getting long. You got to have a bounce in your step, a desire to be coached more, and a way to stay healthy so we can go and be at our best. Understood? Yes, sir. Great. This sets it up, fellas, for everything that you wanted, okay? You're playing next week for a share of the division title. Obviously, now the thing's going to have to come about that you have a chance that you got to finish this thing strong to have a chance to play for a conference championship.
I need one more. Jimmy. It's time! All one! You make
Well, Coach, that post-game locker room was amazing. It was awesome. It was an incredibly exciting moment, worthy of an incredibly dominant performance by your team. That was as much a dominant win that I've seen from any football team in an awful long time.
Yeah, really proud of the way we came out early and took command of it, establishing the line of scrimmage, being physical, getting the running game going, and really having a chance to play a lot of guys and still being able to execute at a level that made the games, keep flowing without getting sloppy.
358 rushing yards. Jarrett Patterson with the 187 himself and 2 scores. That first touchdown of 64 yards really set a tone under the weather conditions that screamed for one team to be good at running the football.
Yes, it did. We modified a little bit what the openers were going to be based on the wind conditions. Even though we did get the win to start the game, it was one of those, let's establish the line of scrimmage, let's do some things. And I think the first play went for 7, and then the next one, of course, he takes it the distance, and he had all those yards in one half of work, and he really played well and got us going.
Your defense, again, using the word dominant, allowing only 34 total yards for the first 3 quarters. Kent State was forced to punt on their first 10 drives. 7 of them were 3-and-outs. The defense just did not allow them to do anything. In a year where your defense is number 1 in the MAC, that was maybe the primo performance.
It was an excellent performance, Paul. I think in one of those things when you look at Kent State's offensive philosophy and playing fast and trying to get going, what that comes down to, of course, is getting yards, getting first downs, and moving the chains that allow them to get lined up quickly and put the pressure on you. And they got a little bit of that rhythm later in the game, and you could really see the difference. When you're getting 3-and-outs or maybe 1 first down, it really prevents them from getting into what they want to do, and our defense played outstanding.
I think the overall picture of this one, Coach, that I'm curious about is Kent State's struggling. They're a young team. They had injuries, some deficiencies. Your team kind of came out there and said, we know how good we are. We know there's not going to be any upsets today. What does that say about the makeup of a team, not only in their confidence, but then their ability to execute off that?
Well, I think it went into the preparation and the things that we addressed during the week. Because honestly, Paul, there were things in that Miami game that we weren't we weren't pleased with. There were things during the week, some little details, some things that I don't think we were doing as good as we were doing earlier in the season. That's the responsibility of myself and our staff to make sure that we take care of those things. And we addressed that on our very first day back. And our players embraced it. I think they needed it. They saw they needed it. We prepared well. And if you want to have a chance to play for a conference championship, you need to play well in games like that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coming up, Coach Leipold previews the big road game against MAC East rival Ohio. And we get to know standout freshman running back Jarrett Patterson. That's all next on UB Football Insider.
Welcome back to UB Football Insider. This segment is presented by CEFQ, changing lives every day.
Well, it's now time for our Town BMW keys to the game. It's the Bulls in Athens, Ohio on Wednesday night to take on the Bobcats. And based on what happened to Ohio last week, Coach, the scenario is there for your team to win this game and clinch the MAC East. How much will you talk to your team about what's at stake this game?
We'll talk very little about it. Our players know. They understand. And what we've been talking about for the last few weeks is that we can control our own destiny anyway, and that's the way we want it. Nobody wants to rely on somebody else having to win a game for you. So if we just keep preparing the way we have been, go out there and this is still a very good football team and a tough place to play, and we're going to have to go down to play our best football to be able to get it accomplished.
It's been a very tough place to play for this school that hasn't won there since 2008. Is that as much to do with the fact that Ohio has been really good since 2008, or is there just something about going there, the travel, all that other stuff that sometimes affects a football team?
It can be. I think each year is its story of itself, and each team. I think there are some logistical things that make it a little bit difficult, but I think playing a night game and doing those things, we have to be able to handle whatever that is. I think we've adjusted to kickoff times and how we have to get to places very well this year, and we'll be ready.
It's the Town BMW keys to the game. It's the Bulls and the Ohio Bobcats on Wednesday night. Ohio coming off a very disappointing loss on the road at Miami. They fall down 28-7 early. They fight their way all the way back and wind up losing 30-28. What did you learn from that game?
Well, I think the one thing is the comeback that they had. I mean, they had won 3 games by big margins. Miami's a good team, and we talked about our battles with them, and we said it before they came in and as well. So the matchup was going to be a good matchup, especially in the lines of physicality, and credit Miami. Their backs were to the wall as far as trying to keep themselves and a bowl possibility alive, and they came out and played that way. But again, Ohio made some big plays, turned it into their favor, and made it a 4-quarter game.
It's been a good season overall for the Bobcats, and one of the reasons why is their quarterback, Nathan Rourke, number 1 in the MAC in total offense. Bulls fans remember how dangerous he was in last year's game. He is as good a runner as he is a thrower, but you're kind of used to seeing guys like this.
Yeah, he's one of the more complete players in our league. As you said, he can run up inside. He runs the option game very well. He's a very accurate thrower. So he's a pretty dynamic player. What makes them I think even better this year is their receiving core across the board is probably the best it's been, I think, probably since Frank Solich has been there. And then they have a great complement of running backs that make it difficult, and it always starts with that big offensive line of theirs.
These are our Town BMW keys to the game for the Bulls' trip to Athens, Ohio on Wednesday to take on the Bobcats. One of those receivers, Poppy White, is one of the most dangerous players in the MAC. They use him in a lot of different ways. What's the challenge of facing a very versatile, fast, quick, talented player like that?
First of all, I don't know how long the guy's been in the league. It seems like every year it's like a 7-year veteran.
He and the
something.
running back, Olette, I feel like we've been talking about them for 10 years.
But that just shows what kind of player he is since the day he stepped into their program on their campus. He's been used in the backfield. He's been in the return game. He can run by you. He's a very dangerous player, and we got to make sure we contain him.
All right, those are our Town BMW keys to the game. It's always a big, important trip for the Bulls to Athens, Ohio to take on the Bobcats. Even more important on Wednesday with a chance to clinch the MAC East title. Coach, good luck.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Coming up, we sit down with freshman running back Jarrett Patterson. And we hear from Coach Leipold on the depth the Bulls have at running back. UB Football Insider continues in a moment.
Welcome back to UB Football Insider. This segment is presented by Town BMW, the official auto partner of UB Athletics.
Oh, brother, what a season debut it has been for James and Jarrett Patterson. James, the Bulls linebacker, is second on the team in tackles. Jarrett leads the team in rushing. He's up to second in the Mid-American Conference. He has been a revelation at the running back spot. Let's meet number 26.
Hi, I'm Jarrett Patterson, number 26, running back on the UB football team.
Handoff, Patterson sneaks through a hole at the 35, at the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, bullseye! Jarrett Patterson is born to run in the state of New Jersey, and it's a Buffalo touchdown.
I'm from Glendale, Maryland, right outside the PG County area. Our parents put us in organized football at the age of 7. It's funny because I started on the offensive line and defensive line. Times moved on, kids got bigger. I didn't start, I didn't grow. And they put me in the backfield, and that's when I started excelling at the position. And I think I found a position, which was running back. Growing up with James, it was fun. We used to play fight. We used to hang out together. Joke around with each other. We did everything, you can name it. It just means a lot for us to go to school together, because that was one of our dreams. Like I said, he had bigger offers than Buffalo, but he turned him down to come go to school with me. So we're very thankful for the opportunity that University of Buffalo has given us. We played high school at St. Vincent Pallotti in Laurel, Maryland. I've played for Coach Ian Thomas and Coach Justin Winters. That's the person that really introduced us to University of Buffalo. And it was real special, just hearing the stories when he played back in '08 when they won the MAC championship, and it was great. Played running back, safety, DB, had a good career. Pallotti was a school that people, it wasn't really known in the Maryland area. We won 2 championships while we was there. He got his first offer in sophomore year, and mine didn't come probably in junior year, I think. Coaches thought I was, undersized, and it definitely made me work even harder. I was always the underdog, but we just knew that if Buffalo would have offered both of us, we knew that, oh yeah, we can see ourselves there. When I first got that first offer, it was like a shoulder, it was weights lifted off my shoulder, and that's when I started realizing that I could really do this. I just wanted to come in and contribute. I didn't know that I was gonna have a big role. I still don't think I have a big role. I'm just taking advantage of every opportunity I get, and that's really it.
Handoff, Patterson, up the middle, cuts through a hole at the 5-yard line, touchdown! The demoralizer, the clincher for the Buffalo touchdown!
This whole season, how's it going? Just the team success, and just we're making history. We're gonna keep this thing rolling.
Well, Coach, Jarrett Patterson has been an incredible revelation this year. How about the last 5 games he's run for 585 yards? He's now up to number 2 in the MAC in rushing for a guy that early in the season, I don't know that anybody really knew who he was or what he was.
Yeah, it's been an amazing year for our running backs as a whole, but Jarrett's been special. We saw glimpses in the spring. We knew he could help our team. We probably thought, maybe midway through the year he'd start making his mark, so to speak. And then he got hurt a little bit in fall camp. But the way he's come on and played and really kind of sparked our offense has just been incredible.
As we saw in the feature, he's just a great kid. He and his brother are just terrific young men. But there's always a challenge for freshmen to step into this kind of atmosphere. So how much has who they are as people has allowed them to be successful as football players?
Well, a lot, Paul, really, because their mother's a principal in the Baltimore school district. They have a great foundation at home, but coming in at mid-year last year, that's not easy as well, because our freshmen have been there a while. They've kind of made their friends. The older guys are there, so finding your niche is even one thing. They came in, but the thing that impresses me most about them off the field is just the maturity in which they go about things, whether it be be in their study habits and seeking out help and doing those things, whether it be taking care of their bodies in the weight room, how they work in the weight room and training room. All those things have made these two guys impactful in their first season.
How excited are you to think about the tandem of Jarrett and Kevin Marks for the next 3+ seasons here at the running back spot?
It's a good feeling to have. You know, a lot of things. I'm excited about that tandem for next week.
Kevin Marks started off so hot, so great. Jarrett's stolen a little bit of the carries and the headlines from him, but I think we all would make a mistake in forgetting that Kevin has an incredible amount of talent as well, too.
Yes, and you look at that whole running back, as we say, room, that stable of backs that you have, and the year that Emmanuel had last year, and the competition that's daily there, and Theo Anderson gets a touchdown against Kent. So we need everyone, and everyone has a role, and though everyone wants to play and carry the ball, everyone's accepted it in a good way that has allowed our team to have the season it's had.
Coach, it truly is the running of the young Bulls here in Buffalo. Lots of excitement at that position for many years to come. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Paul.
Coming up, we take a look at the big plays made by the defense in this week's Karuba Collisions. That's next on UB Football Insider.
This is UB Football Insider, presented by ECMC, the difference between healthcare and true care.
Here are this week's Karuba Collisions.
Barrett in the pocket, pressured, rushed, sacked. Justin Brandon's second sack of the night.
Number 2 for Justin Brandon, who makes a great move. That's just all athleticism from Justin Brandon.
Rush is coming off the edges, throws it short, crossing pattern, but waiting for the receiver was Otwanowski, and Antoine Dixon goes down after just a 1-yard gain. Quarterback Dustin Crum throws the wide receiver screen, and Tatum Slack blows it up. Fought right through the block of Antoine Dixon and blew it up when the receiver, Lacavius McFadden, made the catch. What a play by Slack, who's starting for the injured Apri Washington.
Follow UB Football on Twitter and choose your favorite Karuba Collision of the week.
Well, this Wednesday, it's the Bulls' annual trip to take on the Ohio Bobcats. It's one of the toughest places to win in all of the Mid-American Conference, but this time, the Bulls have some extra motivation. A win over Ohio on Wednesday clinches the MAC East title and a trip to Detroit for the Mid-American Conference championship game. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff from Athens, Ohio on Wednesday night. You can hear it on ESPN 1520. You can see it on ESPN2. We thank you for joining us this week on the UB Football Insider Show.